Hi guys, you're welcome to another apparel tutorial, and in today's class I'll be showing you how I made this beautiful puff sleeve using the smoking method. It is super easy to make, and if you love what you see and this is what you wish to learn, then please watch till the end. And if you are new to this channel, please click on the subscribe button so you get notified whenever we post a new video, and also don't forget to like and drop a comment. I'll be using this doll face fabric for the sleeve, and here I have 1 yard of that. I've gone ahead to divide the doll face into 2 equal parts. The amount of fabric you have to use will depend on how puffy and how long you want your sleeve to be. So for this tutorial, the width of the sleeve I'm making is 16 inch, while the total length of the material I have here is 60 inch. I'm using the total length of the doll face, so here I have 60 inch. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead to do is to mark 2 inch on this part of my fabric for my elastic casing. So I'm going to mark it all the way around. After marking, I'll connect the joint together. After marking the 2 inch for the elastic casing, next I'll move over to the top of my fabric at this point and I'll mark 1 inch all the way around. I'm marking this 1 inch because I'm going to be running a gather stitch at that point, and also I'll be using that point to fix the sleeve to the blouse I have already made. After marking the 1 inch, the next thing to do is to mark out your armhole at this point. Remember, here I have my fabric on fold, so I'm going to be marking the armhole. So my armhole measurement is 8 plus 1 inch, so another one is 9. I'm going to be marking the 9 inch at this point. Next, I'm going to be coming down by 4 inch for the calf's height, after which I'll draw this curve like you see me doing. So this is basically the armhole for the sleeve we are making. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do is to determine how I want the tags on the sleeve to be, because we'll be tagging it this way. You can decide to make it scattered, and you can decide to make it uniform. So for this tutorial, I want the tags to be 4 inch apart from each other. So I'm going to go ahead to mark the 4 inch like you see me doing. I'm going to be doing it vertically and horizontally. I'll mark the 4 inch all the way around my sleeve, and I'll do the same thing for the other sleeve. So just watch what I'm doing and you can do yours the same way. You can also decide to make yours 2 inch, 3 inch, however you want it to look like. The choice is yours to make. So after marking your point, the next thing to do is to go ahead to tack it, and in doing that, all you need to do is to pick a point where you mark this way, then you tack it. So I'm going to be illustrating using my needle and thread. After illustrating, I'm going to go over my sewing machine to do the other part. It is faster, easier and more secure to use your sewing machine to tag the sleeve. So if you're using your needle and thread, this is how you do it. You pick it this way, then you sew it. After sewing, you knot it so it doesn't lose after you are done tacking it. After tacking, this is what it's going to look like after tacking. So I'm going to go over my sewing machine to tag the remaining parts I marked. After doing that, I'll come back to show you the next step. So after tacking with my sewing machine, this is what it's going to look like, and this is what the inner part of the sleeve is going to look like. So all you need to do is to just pick the point to mark and double stitch or stitch it as many times as you like to secure it. So if you want yours to be fuller or longer, make sure that your fabric should be longer than this. So this is what it's going to look like. I've also gone ahead to close up the elastic casing I drafted, that is the 2 inch I marked. I've also gone ahead to close that part up. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do is to cut out the armhole. So first you fold your fabric into two like you see me doing, then you arrange the edges together to align. After that, you go ahead to cut out the parts which you marked. After cutting, the next thing to do is to insert your elastic into the elastic casing that was already made. And to determine the length of elastic to use, you have to use your round arm measurement minus 1 or 2 inch depending on how tight you want it to be. So I'm going to go ahead to measure that, after which I will insert the elastic into the elastic casing. After inserting the elastic, this is what it should look like. So the next thing I'll go ahead to do is to run a gather stitch on this part of the sleeve. So I'll quickly go over my sewing machine and run the gather stitch, after which I'll come back to show you the next step. So I'm going ahead to run the gather stitch on this part of the sleeve. The next thing to do is to gather it to my round armhole measurement. So whatever your round armhole measurement is, you gather the sleeve to that measurement. So I'll do that, after which I'll come back to show you the next step. So after gathering it, here I have my round armhole measurement plus my sewing allowance. So this is what it should look like after gathering. And I've also gone ahead to tack this part of the elastic so it doesn't pull out. So this is what it's going to look like. So the next I'll go ahead to do is to close up the sides of the sleeve. After doing that, I'll come back to show you the next step. So I'm going ahead to close up the sides of the sleeve, and this is what it looks like after closing. I'm going to turn it to the good face so you see what the good face of the sleeve is going to look like. As you can see, it's already looking very puffy and it's looking so beautiful. So the next I'll go ahead to do is to attach it to this blouse I've already made. So I'm going to attach it to the armhole round this way, and it's going to look like this after fixing it. As you can see, it's looking so beautiful already. I'll quickly do that, after which I'll come back to show you the next step. So here we have the final look of the sleeve we just finished making. As you can see, it's looking so beautiful and it's sitting well on this beautiful 6 pieces blouse. I have a detailed video on how I make this 6 pieces blouse with a front zipper. I'll be dropping the link to that video in the description box for you to watch and learn how I made this beautiful blouse. And also, if you're yet to subscribe, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button, like, and also drop a comment. Thank you for watching.